We have Katie backstage here. Katie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Um, I just wanted to say something on the fact that you two both spoke about your wives. Um, I met my husband, and he was Orthodox, and he had been Orthodox for like 15 years when I met him. And uh, I was Protestant and thought, wow, this is just really weird, and this is not what I'm used to. And kind of had this probably some of the same thoughts that maybe your wives have. But I will say that like I'm now Orthodox and I've been Orthodox for 7 years.
Glory to God.
And yes,
Mm.
glory to God for sure. But my priest or our priest told my husband, do what you're supposed to do, do your prayers, be the living example of what it is to be an Orthodox Christian. And I will say he did that very well. And so, I became Orthodox because I saw him. And another thing to think about, and this was also another thing that ended up kind of being that big deciding, well, I say a deciding factor, but he told me, he was like, he made me promise, even prior to us getting married, he was like, look, our children have to be baptized Orthodox. Like 100%, they're going to be baptized Orthodox. And you have to agree to that. And I was like, okay, I agree to that. And I just knew that I didn't want to be something that my children weren't. And so that was also something that kind of brought me into the Orthodox Church. And I
Wow.
was like, before my kids become Orthodox, like before we even have kids, I want to be Orthodox because how can you teach your children to be a good Orthodox Christian if you're not one?
That's a good
So
point.
I just want to say that there's hope out there because I mean, it I was probably me and my husband. Uh, it was probably like 5 years after I met my husband before I actually became Orthodox. But it, and we were married in the church, but it was just like we couldn't do everything as like in a traditional marriage because I wasn't Orthodox at the time. But um, yeah, I think that, my priest was like, just answer her questions if she has questions, but don't push it. And so he did that. And, I'm very thankful. And I think that that's just something like, yes, women are different. So, but it'll happen, and like,
Yeah,
I think you men will be a good example to them. So,
thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the encouragement. Maybe you can like confirm something for me because like I am a man and I have man brain. I do not have a woman's way of thinking. But would you say that like what I see is that for men, like we do consider things down the line, but for us the main concern is like the immediate thing, right? So like, well, is this the right church? Like, okay, well, I'm convinced of that, so then let's go, right? And then all the other stuff, like, will I have friends there? Will the priest be like, will it be weird? Like, we just kind of figure all that when we get there. I feel like, based off my observations, I think that women tend to think about all of that stuff up front instead of taking one thing at a time. They think about it to its logical, like all the way to the end. Do you think is that fair to say?
I would say that that is fair. And I think for me, another one of those things in the end that kind of got me was that, like, I trust my husband and I know my husband wouldn't lead me into something that was wrong. And I just had to fully give into that, you know, I had to trust him and trust God and that, you know, we were in the right spot. And I think after that, after I gave into that, that's when I really started to see all the things I didn't see prior. Um, but yeah, I mean, I would say that women, we tend to overthink. Um,
Yeah, because in my like, it seems to me that a guy will just be like, "Okay, I'm convinced of the theology. Where do I sign up?" But for women, it'll be like, "Okay, I'm convinced of the theology. However, like, will it be weird when I like? Will I have friends? Like, who am I going to be friends with? Like, are there people there? Are the people weird there? Like, what if I go and the people are weird? And they like, for us guys, it's like, well, I'll just figure out all that stuff when I get there. But it appears to me that women think like they think all the way to the end about this stuff.
yeah, and I will say when I first started attending, um, which was in like 2014 or 2015, when I first started attending an Orthodox parish, there was not a lot of people there. and the people that were there were older. Um, and then some of the people that were there that had kids, well, I felt like, oh, if I don't have kids, like they don't want to speak to me because they have their own things going on. And I was like, and it's really honestly not like a Protestant church where, like you mentioned, you go in and people are like, oh, hi, nice to see you, welcome. And it's different because that's not what everyone's there for. Like we do that at coffee hour or things like that, but it's just that's not the main reason why we're there. And I think that was such like a big difference. I was like, I don't think people like me. I kept telling my husband, I don't think people like me. And he was like, no, it's just different. It's just different. Like you have to realize that's not what it is. But then that honestly made me be the kind of person that now when new people come into our parish, I try to talk to them because I'm like, I don't want them to ever feel like I felt, because everyone is so loving there. And it's just, I just didn't know. I was also standoffish because I was, nervous to talk to them because I didn't know them and I didn't know like a lot about it. So now I just try to like be that person that talks to people. So I do. I mean, we do look at the whole thing, and I think that it takes a lot longer to kind of work through every piece in your head, but you get there.
Katie, I have another question for you, actually. I know you called in to, comment on this, but I know, like, for women, like, they are very conscious of aesthetics. Obviously, I'm not saying they're like superficial, but like this is something like that they consider, that they look at. And when I look at like evangelical churches and the aesthetics that they like, these girls will walk in with their Starbucks and their Ugg boots and like their pink Bible and their color coded highlighters and post-it notes. And they like sit down in the pew and have their coffee, like flip open their Bible and like and do their women's Bible study in the middle of the week. And like this is persuasive for women. Like I'm not like they are conscious of aesthetics. Like this is just a reality, right? And in my view, the Orthodox Church has like wonderful aesthetics. But I mean, how like what do we do to reach out on that wavelength, or should we even bother reaching out on that wavelength? Because like I mean, you trust your husband, and like you were brought into the Orthodox Church, like all these considerations, and like also it seems with like osmosis and time. Uh, but I like would that be the approach? I don't know. This is something I'm thinking about out loud right now. Is this an approach that we can take with everybody? Like, what are your thoughts on this from a woman's perspective?
I guess I'm a little confused at what you mean by aesthetics at that point.
Because
Like
they
having
it's
Bible
just
study and stuff like
they
that?
walk into the church and like just they look at it and they're like, I like it. Like I get my Starbucks, I get my pink Bible, I get my
Oh,
color coded highlighters. Like and to sit there, like I get to feel good because they have a rock concert and a TED talk after, and it's like very empowering and encouraging and stuff. And then you go to Orthodox church and it's like you need to be humble and repent for your sins because you're we are all on a path to become more like, and we're not going to cater to your every need. You're not going to bring your Starbucks here. In fact, you're going to have a head covering and you're going to listen and learn. So like it's just like it's such a different mindset. Like I feel like
I don't know.
modernity has almost like ruined the things that young women prioritize. Or am I too pessimistic on this? I'm
Well,
thinking out loud here. I'm going to get in trouble with the ribs. I don't know.
it's okay. Honestly, I don't think that you should concede that, because I think that's part of being Orthodox. I think that that's part of learning how to be like submissive and
Mm.
to doing the, I don't know. I just don't think that,
Yeah, I
why
don't think
are
we
we
should
trying to
concede
meet
it. I'm
them?
just thinking
Why are
like
we trying to meet them at where they are at? Like they should, you have to learn how to give in. That's the whole point. We're always trying to give in, and we have to give up what we may want. It's not, I, again, it's not,
it's not
me.
appealing. But like
Yeah,
again,
I shouldn't go to
I
church
get your point
expecting.
too. Is that like we are not in the business of being appealing?
No, and I think it means more also after you've come to it on your own like that. When you're
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
and I guess something I could say that also has helped me is that I help out in like the kitchen at my church, and then you get to know other women, and then you get to, and you help out and you do things around your parish, and that also gives women like like you feel fulfilled because you're like, I did something that helped, and glory to God that I
You
was able to help you
contributed.
do
Yes, you
something.
did something. Yeah.
And I think a lot of women want that too. You know, like it's hard when you have kids, don't get me wrong, it is hard. But I think it does help, like having something that you can do so you feel like you're contributing to your parish.
Hmm.
I don't think we should give in and try to become modern to just bring women in. I could see how there are things that women like about that, but and you know, in our church, the women have a book club and they get together and they pick out a book that they all want to read. They all go get it. They come and they sit on it, you know, like every like I don't know second Sunday or something like that. I think of the month they come, they sit in there and they talk about their books that they were reading and they discuss it, and I think that's just another way. I don't know. I don't think, you know,
That's
if they want
good.
to bring their
Yeah.
tabs and they want to bring all their little
Yeah,
peace
then
Bibles in for
they
that,
can
do
have it
it.
at their book club. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's a good because like I like base attractiveness. It's just like something that I know. Like, of course, guys like that's important to them too. But I just think for women, like appearances are important, right? Um, but yeah, I agree. I don't think we should make any compromises on our end. It's like the thing that that you have shed light on here. Uh, I think thank you for doing so too. Like your take is very helpful in me like trying to understand this because like there's no shortage of men converts. And some statistics don't even like really show a big disparity. Like I've seen 60-40 in the convert surge, like tending towards men, but like that's pretty good if it's the
Yeah.
40% of the converts are women. Um, it's just like it's a bit of a meme out there, and you know I know that's not a good measure for what the truth is, but it's a meme for a reason, right? Is that you have all of the young women at the non-denom churches, and then all of the young men are like going to like hunt for the ancient church and like joining these historical churches. Like I think the most prominent of which is the Orthodox Church now. So this is like an imbalance I've been thinking of, and I'm just thank you for your take on this because I've always been curious
Yeah.
on like what is the like what factors are at play here, and
I
how do
mean,
we
and
fix it?
I'm not every woman, but I, you know, so I'm not going to say I speak for everyone, but I do think that as a female, something I'm trying to, because the world wants us to feel like, oh, appearances are everything, right? And when I go to church, I don't have to think that. And
Mm.
I think that's a great thing because, you know, it's constantly like you go to the grocery store and there's magazines and there's all these women and there's stuff and it's like, oh, do you have the best outfit? Do you have this? I go to church and no one cares. No one cares what I'm wearing. No one cares. You know, they ask me how I'm doing and
Mm.
if they can do anything for me. And I think that that's honestly a problem for women is the fact that people they've made it so that we're supposed to care about appearances so much and I think
Yeah,
we
and
just
like
need to
there's so
not.
many forces in society that are pushing that. Like I don't blame young women for having because like everybody's pushing that ethic on them, right? But like I think so yours the way you look at it is we should probably double and even triple down on substance and transformation. And that I is that right?
I would I don't like double or triple down. What do you mean? What
Like
do
double
you mean by that?
like I even see in the chat here like Miss Memento Mary says like many modern women struggle with vanity. I feel like women are
Yeah,
genuine at the
I think
Orthodox
you see
Church, right?
I
And
think
it's
you see a
like
lot.
they're
Yeah.
putting like substance over like you just have to tell them your values are wrong. Like these are the things that you should be valuing, right?
Yeah, and I think you see a lot of women nowadays doing things like getting Botox or fillers, and it's like you're beautiful without all of that. And like, I think that that's also the part of we're made in God's image, and but the world wants us to see that oh, you don't have the best handbag, and you don't have the best shoes, and you don't have the best clothing, or
Yeah.
you need your hair. You need to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars every year to get your hair done. I don't know, whatever. I'm telling you, people spend a lot of money, or women getting their nails done. And I'm like, it's a
I am
waste of money.
aware. Yes, I know many female lawyers. It is an absurd amount of money. Like I'm shocked the amount of money spent on that kind of thing. But yeah, those really good thoughts. Thank you for humoring me for a moment there.
What one thing
I do like what you had to say.
I'd like to ask Katie one thing of you as a valued female Orthodox member of the church. just on sort of like content creation and the Orthodox sphere. We touched upon this earlier about there being sort of like a need for female content creators and things like that in the Orthodox Church. There is a place for that, and I'd probably agree with Alex on that, definitely. How, as a woman, how do you see that manifesting? What would you like to see?
This is actually something I've thought about a lot. And actually, I did send in a question to Alex on like one of his member streams once, asking if he thought more women needed to be in content creation. But I will be honest, I don't exactly know, but it is something that I see a lot of, like Father Josiah was on Girls Gone Bible, right? I don't feel like, I don't know if that's the way I feel like Orthodox women should go. That's still something I'm kind of stumped on, because I think that for women, it's honestly just living the life that really helps, and going to divine liturgy and seeing how it, like if you're a man and you've gone in, like Alex, like your wife, you're going to be her best example. I don't know. I don't know how else, like she's going to trust you more than she's going to trust some female online.
I
And
understand. Yes.
so it's really hard to say. I've thought about making videos, but not doing any of that kind of thing. Like I'm wanting to learn how to make liturgical vestments, and there's just nowhere around here that really does that. But it's more so that people can help do things in their own parish. Like I've made an altar cover for my parish, and
Oh,
done
that's
embroidery with
awesome.
that. And so my type of video would be different, but that's because that's what I like to watch. But I think, I don't know, each female is
I know,
different.
like some of the women in my life, they're like they love those channels of like it's that like Becky lady who that does like cooking videos and has like a garden, and like her entire video is just like she goes about the day, goes into the garden and like prepares mass meals for her family. And like I know so many girls that like love watching that. But like I could see like maybe like an Orthodox spin on that kind of thing, that's like we are going to make the prosphora bread. We are going to knit a thing, like a sew a thing for the altar, or like that's like the how to make vestments. Like I think girls love that kind of thing nowadays, right?
They like the videos that are like, what is it, like ASMR, or like the ones that are
Mm,
soothing to watch.
yeah.
At least I do. I like those videos. So, and because
My wife likes those videos too, so that's
this world is too fast paced, that's what my one way of like, slowing it down a little bit.
aha. Okay,
But
interesting.
I, yeah, I think that there are ways that, you can get to women. And I think when they have kids, it's a different thing. Like when you have kids, your priorities change, obviously. Um, and so I learned a lot from the women in my church. And I feel like if there were women out there that were Orthodox and had kids and could offer some insight to other women of like, you know, something I will now tell women all the time, because my kids' godparent, like they're godparents. I was talking to her and I was like, yeah, I just like doing prayers with my kids. It's just so difficult because they're just running around. My kids are like 4 and 5, and they just don't stay still, which of course they're not going to. And she was like, oh, go get the kids prayer book and do that one. Don't do the adult prayer book. She's like, because they're not going to sit still long enough. She's like, and it's going to be stressful for you and stressful for them, because you're going to be like, no, come here, come stand here. Wait, no, what are you doing? No, don't drop your candle. No. And so honestly, that helped. And now I give that piece of advice to women that have young kids, because honestly, it saved my peace of mind. And then it made me a nicer mom to them, because I wasn't constantly like yelling at
On
them
their
for like
case all the
6 or 8.
time, yeah.
Yes. So like it's those little like things that I feel like help so much, because not only does that help like the mom, like, well, prayers are just like so stressful, like I'm just not going to do them with my kids. It's like, no, you definitely want to do them with your kids, but make it so it's not as stressful on the two of you, or however many of you it is. And so I think those are like tidbits I wish I had had earlier on. Would be nice for women to share with each other. but you do get those at the parish level. So I think that's also another thing.
Love it.
Amazing. Great
Well,
stuff.
Thank you
No worries.
for having me on. And
it's a pleasure.
it was a great listening to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. It was great listening to you too.
Bye.
See ya.
It's very educational. I like
yes.
that.
Yes.
I learned a lot just now.
Yeah. We need to listen to women. Well, I mean, what? I mean,
listen, you sexist bigots. No, there are good verses on this. I think you're right, Sam. Like there was I think First or Second Peter, where it says to honor your wives, lest your prayers be hindered. Right. So
well, I mean, it's I mean, there's what three lines in that section about women submit to your husbands, things like that. But there's like 8 or 9 for men to do the same to women and things like that. And there's a lot more instruction for us, a lot more burden on us as the men of the household to guide things and to educate and to
And I think it is one thing when like you hear from Father Peter or Jay or somebody, it's like just lead by example. It's like, okay. Then it's another thing entirely, I think, when woman calls in and she's like, I literally just I followed my husband's example. And this is like, these are the things, this is what it meant to me. Like these are the things I looked at. And
there's hope for us yet, Alex. There's hope for us yet.